Welcome back to the Knock-On Effect, the rugby show where we say what the pundits won't. The Six Nations has never been closer, and this year's competition is heating up. In today's video, we're going to take a look back at the action so far, look ahead to this weekend's matchups, and answer the question, will this weekend decide the championship? Let's get stuck in. So we'll start off with Wales. Wales. They've been absolutely brutal, haven't they? When Gatland last had his purple patch, they had a star-studded team. You can't lose the likes of Dan Biggar, Lee Halfpenny, Sam Warburton and Huw Jones and not see a drop in form. Now it's not all doom and gloom. The likes of Thomas Williams and Jack Morgan have done their utmost to hoist Wales back up to the glory days, but they are fighting an uphill battle. Warren Gatland looks like he's on borrowed time. This team needs a burst of new ideas and energy. Where that comes from Adam Jones or elsewhere, they are in dire need of something new. The match against France last weekend was a tough watch. They gave their all, and the first 20 minutes they were in the fight, but it went downhill quickly. They looked frustrated, a complete lack of ideas. Plenty of abled bodies willing to throw themselves on the line for the jersey, but completely void of the knowledge of how to break the French down. This weekend against Italy will realistically be a sobering reality. A loss here could be exactly what they need. Definitive confirmation that they need a complete overhaul of the current structure. The Six Nations is a better tournament when Wales are firing on all cylinders. We've seen with the likes of Cardiff this year that a change in structure can improve things. Here's to hoping we get the Wales of old back sometime soon. On to their match week opposition, Italy. A team who are slowly but surely improving year on year. There was once a time in the not so distant past that we were considering releasing them from the Six Nations. They are in no fear of going anywhere anytime soon. A draw last year against France, a win over Wales, and only 3 points shy of England was their best tournament in quite some time. But can they keep pushing on? Last weekend saw Scotland kick into second gear around the 60th minute and cruise to victory, but they are a very good Scotland team. Italy gave a great account of themselves, and this weekend they have a chance against Wales to showcase their continued improvements and build some form ahead of the break. Scotland are the product of years of continued improvement. Gregor Townsend and his team of coaches deserve an incredible amount of praise and gratitude. This Scotland squad are possibly the best Scottish team in history. Fagerson, Darge, Russell, Jones, Kinghorn, it's some fucking team. But they have a key player missing. The loss of Tui Pilatu is bound to have a big impact. He was only just unveiled as the captain heading into the Autumn Nation series. He's a big presence to have absent in the midfield. Stafford McDowell stepped in to partner Huw Jones against Italy, another Glasgow Warriors man. His club connection will no doubt be helpful in building a link with the fellow Warrior. There was moments where there was a lack of cohesion against Italy, but ultimately they stood up tall and confidently overcame the Italians. Will this partnership be enough, however, to withstand an Irish midfield of Bundee Aki and Robbie Henshaw? Well, this Sunday in Murrayfield we'll find out. Looking to crush the Scottish dreams are Ireland, on their own quest of being the first team in Six Nations history to win 3 consecutive championships. A lot of the talk has been around out half, and Prendergast gets the nod again. Look, we've covered this already, so I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check out that video. But what was way more worrying for me against England was the lack of firepower. James Ryan and Ryan Baird stepped in for regular starters Joe McCarthy and Peter O'Mahony against England, and the lack of physicality and bite was noticeable. Having O'Mahony back this week will go a long way in adding some fight back into this squad. Murrayfield will be a war. If Ireland want to be the first team to win 3 in a row, they will first have to overcome a big obstacle in Townsend's men. Now, a lot of the pundits are predicting a Scottish win here. Don't get me wrong when I say this. I have a huge amount of respect for Scotland. They're kind of like our little brothers. I love watching them play against England and France, and I'd love to see them win those matches. But the big boys are coming to town this week. Here's a look at the history of the meetings between Ireland and Scotland. We might have a few players and Farrell missing, but I'm predicting an Irish win here. England are a tricky one. They don't know if they're coming or going. Borthwick has seen moments of success and moments of failure. Last weekend they came up shy against Ireland in Dublin. There's no shame in that. Maro Itoje, the newest England captain, did his utmost to put up the fight required to win top-level test matches. Ben Earl and Tom Curry were equally physical, while the mercurial Marcus Smith was in flying form. Lawrence commanded the midfield, and overall it was a fine performance. But fine doesn't win championships. They'll beat Wales if they play like that, and maybe one or two others. But when push comes to shove, it's not where England want to be. If they want to regain their stature in world rugby, they will need to start taking down the giants. And what could be more of a gigantic task than taming Dupont's France? Antoine Dupont is the best player in world rugby. We've spoken about him many times before on the channel, but I don't think there's a better example of this than looking at last year's Six Nations. The same team that just beat Wales 43-0 struggled greatly in last year's competition. Why? Their fearless leader was chasing his Olympic dream. Dupont is the glue that holds this French team together. But if all it takes is one player missing, just how dangerous can France be? Well, the emergence of Louis Bielle Biary shouldn't be understated. The Bordeaux winger has looked in scintillating form, unbelievably quick and a real handful for any defence. Thomas Ramos is banging 50-22s for fun, and Alldritt is the engine room of an uber physical French pack. They didn't give a great showing of themselves last year, but with Andy Farrell away with the Lions and Ireland looking somewhat vulnerable, this year is their best opportunity in recent history to win the championship. While Dupont and France have looked threatening for years, a Six Nations title this year would only be their third since 2010. If this group of players want to go down in history as one of the best ever French squads, titles have to come. A victory against England in Twickenham would be a huge statement of intent. Which brings us to the question, will this weekend decide this year's Six Nations? Yes. France, Ireland and Scotland will all have their eyes on the title this year. A loss for any of these teams would be a major blow. If Scotland upset Ireland and France hammer the English, it would be very difficult to see Ireland claw their way back up to the title. Any slip up, any mistake could spell an end for any given team's dreams. This is the Six Nations, the pinnacle of European rugby. Perfection is required. So that wraps up this weekend's matchups. Be sure and let us know who you think will come out on top. And as always, cheers for watching. Catch you at the next one.